Hello and welcome to the Monroe Method Clancast. I am Jason Monroe. This is episode 123. I'm in a fucking brilliant mood this morning, pardon my French. It's a Friday morning. The sun is rising. It's quite fresh, but that's okay. Dogs are happy. I'm happy. Weekend ahead. I'm blowing up on TikTok for some reason. I posted a couple of videos about Slimming World that have got hundreds of thousands of views, which is crazy. Considering I've had a TikTok account for about 3 years, I've intermittently, randomly posted a video on there that I put on Instagram, and it's just never done anything. And for some reason, this week, my TikTok, I've had 100 followers on TikTok for like 2 or 3 years. Now I'm getting 100 followers a day. So it's interesting to see where that's going to go. Since I've always been an Instagram loyal person since day one. Anyway, here's what we're going to talk about today. Do you know what TikTok has taught me? That weight loss medications are the next big fad. Now hear me out, because that sounds like an obvious statement, but you're going to get this in a minute, right? Here's how the weight loss world works, in case you don't know, right? Something comes out that gains traction, gains popularity, starts trending. And this is how it's always worked. Doesn't matter if the internet was around or not. Something gains traction, it gains popularity. Like before the internet, it was the newspaper, sugar's a problem, fat's the problem, carbs are killing you, blah, blah, blah. And then we got the internet, where you have access to worldwide information within seconds, 24/7. Oh, daffodils are out. So, yes, that sounds like a stupid statement. Oh, weight loss injections are the next big trend. They already are. But what I mean by that is, there is a knock-on trend that we're going to talk about. And I've probably put it in the title of this, so it's not like it's a secret now. Food noise. Food noise is... So what I was going to say before was, when these things gain popularity, this is when people come out of the woodwork and start selling the solutions to problems that you don't have. Food noise is I don't want to swear again. Food noise, I swore a lot in the last episode. Food noise is the next big manipulative tool. These two words are going to be the weight loss buzzwords this year. You're not going to hear about blood sugar. You're not going to hear about glucose and all that shit. I'm just thinking of the glucose goddess. All that stuff's going to die out now. People are going to stop talking about carbs. They're going to stop talking about sugar. Going to stop talking about insulin responses and blood sugar spikes. And they are going to start talking about food noise. Food noise is the next big thing. Because everybody has food noise. I was going to say everybody has a problem with food noise. They don't. Everybody has food noise. Everybody has all kinds of noise. Why are we singling out food noise? You have got phone noise. You've got social media noise. You've got TV noise. You've got alcohol noise. Nap, bedtime noise. It's such a stupid thing. A stupid thing to have coined. A stupid and obvious thing to have coined. Because everybody has food noise. I have food noise. I'm thinking about food right now. Food noise is normal. You're meant to have food noise, but like anything in the world, like anxiety, like stress, like you're meant to have anxiety, you're meant to have stress. These are perfectly normal body responses. What we're not supposed to have is crippling amounts of it. So we're not meant to have crippling amounts of anxiety. That means there's something wrong. We're not meant to have crippling amounts of stress. That means there's something wrong. And we're not meant to have crippling amounts of food noise. And this, from being on TikTok this week, it's clear, like more so than Instagram. TikTok's crazy. TikTok reminds me of what my Instagram account was like back in 2017, 2018 when I was first starting out. That was crazy. Then it just faded over time. Instagram's such a quiet place now. Instagram's just a bloody preview app for people's OnlyFans accounts. I hate it. TikTok is still a relatively newish platform that has gained a lot of traction over the last while. And people on there are a different type of person, and it's fun. They're so interactive, so conversational, so opinionated, which is great because it really drives engagement and boosts things. But something that is very clear to me is that, honestly, the amount of people talking about weight loss medications and food noise is insane. So let's talk about food noise, right? You have food noise, just the same as I have food noise. You probably have more food noise than me. Now, 10 years ago, I had a lot of food noise. All I thought about was takeaways and crisps and beer and sweets and biscuits and cookies and cakes. Not because, well, partly because I was hungry, but mostly because I had a terrible relationship with food. We do not have a food noise problem. We have a relationship with food problem. We have a splitting food up into good and bad categories problem. We have a restriction problem. We have a permissive eating problem. Your food noise is dictated by the way that you view food, yourself, your body, weight loss, dieting, etc. That's where your food noise comes from. Also, it comes from your nutritionally imbalanced diet. Do you know, there's also a lot of angry people on TikTok. Like they don't like me talking about Slimming World. And so they say, yep, weight loss injections are going to put you out of business. Weight loss injections are a passing fad. I know they're a passing fad. Because so far, all the studies tell us that the vast majority of people, like any yo-yo diet, as soon as they come off the medication, they are piling the weight back on again because they've not changed anything. All they did was take an injection that helped them not do something that their body was telling them to do and their mind was telling them to do, because it made that part quieter. It made it easier to ignore. As soon as they come off the injections, remember, the only thing that's changed about them is their weight. They've not changed as a person, their mindset, their habits, their behaviours, their dietary balance. People don't take these injections and suddenly start eating a pile of fruits and vegetables and protein. People don't take these injections, they don't transform you into a healthy eater. They transform you into someone who is less hungry and does not think about food as much. That's it. That's all they do. The minute you remove that, what do you think's going to happen? They're not a lifelong transformation, they're a temporary transformation. For as long as you are stabbing a needle into your body and injecting yourself with something to control something, it's no different to any other drug. You stop using it, you stop getting the effects. So, food noise. Here is where food noise comes from. Now, I should probably preface this, because people who are living with obesity, remember, obesity is a disease. It's a genetic condition that some people who are obese or overweight have, not all. And like I've said in the past about these weight loss injections, there is a demographic of people who these injections are for, who they are perfect for, who they are a miracle for. For people living with obesity, who have little to no appetite regulation, who do not know when they are full, who think they're hungry all the time. You think you've got food noise, they have food noise. They're the real people living with food noise. Or people like Harvey Price, I think I mentioned him in the last episode actually, with Prader-Willi syndrome. Incessantly hungry, never full. He's going to go on the medication to see if it can help him with his condition. So, yeah, these weight loss injections, they're just another yo-yo diet. If someone can afford to stay on them for the rest of their life and they're not concerned about the long-term impact, like remember, there are so many things that people are doing right now that we still do not know what the long-term impacts are. People thought smoking was healthy when people first started, when cigarettes were first marketed. It was actually marketed as a health product because it was a plant. And look how that turned out. Vaping is the same. The amount of people who have switched to vaping when it's only however many years old, how ridiculously new and unregulated it still is. Now we've got weight loss injections. Again, we have no idea. We won't know for another 20, 30, 50 years what the long-term implications of that are. We don't know if people are going to start developing a particular type of cancer 30 years down the line and there's going to be some big massive drama and it's all going to get traced back to Manjaro. We don't know. But these are the risks that people are willing to take to fit into a size 8. Anyway, point is, it's a passing fad. Think about it. Like, I had a discussion with a woman on TikTok who commented that this is the level of insanity that, like, I put out a video that spoke about Slimming World brainwashing, and I went into detail about how people don't realise it's being done to them. People give their lives to this weight loss company without realising that they've been hooked in for life. They have no control over their weight. They're dependent on a plan. The amount of people who I hope watched that video in full to the end then went on to comment and say, I've been going to Slimming World for years. I'm doing fine. One lady, who I'm going to remember for the rest of my life, I've taken screenshots of the conversation and her account for future posts, maybe. One woman said, I've been a Target member for 25 years. Just before I go on, let that sink in. Imagine giving a quarter of a century to a weight loss club. I've been a Target member for 25 years. I went to her account, went back, just looked back a few pages, looked at her videos, and I saw one that says, on my way back to Target. She's not a Target member. She has been intermittently in between the times when she's regained and then had to lose again. That's fucking yo-yo dieting. And that was exactly what I was talking about in the video. The level of brainwashing a woman who has given 25 years of her life to Slimming World, who you will never convince otherwise that she's yo-yo dieting. She doesn't think she is, because she has allowed herself to become part of a world, become so ingrained in her life that she thinks, and I pointed this out, like I replied to her comment. She says, I've been a Target member 25 years, blah, blah, blah. And I replied and said, I looked at your account for 2 seconds and saw a video of you talking about being on your way back to Target. You've been yo-yo dieting for 25 years, not at Target. And she replied and said, well, lo and behold, I put quite a bit on over Christmas and I had to get back to Target again in January. And it's like, she still doesn't get it. It's like, trying to explain to someone, yeah, that's yo-yo dieting. You're not a Target member. You've not been a Target member for 25 years. For 25 years, you have been overindulging at Christmas, on holidays, through the summer, getting back on plan to lose weight, and then becoming a Target member again. Let's just take a step back from that and call that what it is. Yo-yo dieting. And that's what I meant. That's the level of brainwashing that we're dealing with. People, Slimming World suck people in. So, I don't want to do Slimming World again. I know I did it last week. But Slimming World suck people in so well and convince them so well that being dependent on them is the only way that you can control your weight. The only way you get to be happy and slim for a little while every year is if you keep coming to this group and showing up for your shaming and accountability. Anyway, weight loss injections. Food noise. So, weight loss injections are a passing trend. Right now, they feel like this shit, like fucking anything else, like the Zoe diet, when that came along. Everybody thought it was the best thing ever. Oh, I'm monitoring my blood glucose. I've got a little patch on my arm. Look at me. I'm doing something different that just turned out to be the same as everything else. Weight loss injections are no different. No different. They're all fun and new and exciting right now. They're changing people's lives right now. I have already worked with 18 or 19 people since the end of last summer. 2 of them were GPs who put themselves on Manjaro or whatever, Manjaro, Wegovy, whatever it was. They're all different. Everybody gets different ones. Lost a lot of weight, stopped taking it, put it all back on again. And this, like, I have been around since 2018. Well, really since 2017, but properly as Monroe Nutrition, 2018. And I have seen all of these things happen. Do you know, in 2019, there was a big thing. A woman, I don't remember her name. She's disappeared off the face of the earth now. But she brought out this book called Hunger Directed Eating, HDE. And essentially it was, you allow yourself to eat whatever you want, but you stop eating when you start to feel full. Groundbreaking stuff, I know, but she presented it in such a way that made it very convincing. She did tours. I had lots of people leave the Monroe Method to go follow this woman. She did like a world tour. She came to the UK. I remember there was a couple of clients I was following who jumped on a train to go see her. She was doing a public speaking event. You know, getting just one of those things, making her money, making bank, getting people all hyped up, using the popularity. And what happened? The minute the trend passed and it came out that all the people were regaining the weight that they lost, or that so many people were gaining weight while following her instructions because they were eating whatever they wanted and it was not fruits and vegetables and protein, and they were gaining weight. They felt better. Oh, this is great. Mentally, I feel better because I'm getting to eat what I want. But wait a minute. I thought you said my weight was going to come down. It's going up again. She vanished off the face of the earth. Google her. Hunger Directed Eating. I forget her name. Stephanie something, maybe. Maybe it was a double barrel name. I can't remember. Anyway. She doesn't exist anymore. And this is what happens. They come in, it's new, it's exciting, it's shiny, and then we get to a tipping point. We get to that tipping point where once enough time has passed, once enough people have failed to outweigh the people that did well, that's when people stop believing in it. That's when it falls to the background. That's when it starts to make less money, and that's when people start looking for the next thing. And this is just that again. I think we might have a few more years of it, because I think with it being more of a medication rather than a plan, there are probably going to be developments. They're probably going to make better versions. They are never going to make something that permanently fixes someone. Like, you're never going to go and take one tablet and go, that's it. You're not going to be hungry for the rest of your life. That's not going to happen. So, coming back to food noise. Food noise is self-created. So as a nutritionist who has been around since 2017, but running the Monroe Method since January 2018, worked with God knows how many thousands of people at this point. Stop counting them. Food noise is created by people's relationship with food. I was going to try and categorize these. It's very difficult to place one at the top. Okay, tied for first place. Your relationship with food. So something that I have to discourage all day, every day, is people talking about food as good or healthy, and at the opposite end, unhealthy, bad, junk, crap, rubbish. Tied with that is people's nutritionally imbalanced diets. I've had a lot of people join me in the last couple of weeks. 70 or so people. I have done a lot of starting stats. I have said a lot of the same things over and over again. When people come, when I'm doing people's nutrition plans, finding out all about them, reading all their stuff, like something that most people say is talking about cravings. I have a sweet tooth, cravings, blah, blah, blah. Yes, everybody has a sweet tooth. Find me someone who does not enjoy sweet things. To some degree, right? Sweet stuff tastes great. It sends the pleasure centers in our brains wild. You'll struggle to find someone who does not like sweet things. Forget the quantities, forget the excessive amounts or anything like that. Find me someone that would eat something sweet and say, oh, I don't like that. Unless I didn't actually like the food, but you know what I mean. When someone talks to me about sweet cravings, at the same time as that, they're also posting me 2 screenshots of their food diary. So I'm looking at someone's food diary from 2 days of tracking. They present that to me with a history and background and details. And 99% of the time, there is an immediate link between their sweet cravings and their diet. So, fiber in the diet, right? Think of fiber. I've said this 1,000 times this week. Think of fiber as a sugar regulator. If you eat sugar without the presence of fiber in the diet, your blood sugar will go bananas. What does going bananas mean? It means that when you have nothing in your body, like fiber, to throttle that sugar, to reduce the bandwidth of that sugar, to tame that sugar, your blood sugar will go skyrocketing. And when that happens, you get a fucking massive buzz. Oh my God, I am hyper. Woohoo! 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, you get a massive crash. Oh my God, I am absolutely dying. I need more sugar. Craving more sugar. I want more and more. That's not a craving. That's a natural response to the way that you are managing your diet. That's a self-created craving through an imbalanced diet. 30 to 50 grams a day is considered a normal and healthy range of fiber in adults. If you look at the statistics, the average for adults in the UK is 13 grams a day for women, 15 grams a day for men, right? We are all consuming less than half the recommended level. If I was to do that survey on all the people that I've worked with, my average would be 5 to 12 grams. 15 was generous. 5 to 12 grams a day. Here's another number, this is what I tell to clients as well. Like nearly every single check-in I do, people's fiber is at 5, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. There is the very rare odd person, maybe 1 in 20, 1 in 30, who will have a great level of fiber in the diet. And it's a pleasant surprise. But as for the rest, nobody even thinks to go and eat a piece of fruit. Nobody thinks to put vegetable portions on their plate. And that's the problem. Like, do you know what I hate? I hate how we've had to get to this level. I hate how I've had to get to this level. You know, if we brought it all back down to absolute base level and kept it all super simple and just said to people, look, you need to eat fruit for snacks every day. You need to have vegetables with your meals as often as possible. They should make up most of the plate, not a tiny portion. Your diet will be great. But we don't. Because we live in a world that loves to confuse and complicate things. So we need to know how many grams of this we need and how many grams of that we need. And we just take it to these levels that just piss us off because we have to be so anal about it. But this is the world we live in. That's where we're at. People don't want general advice. They want to feel like they're being given something that's specific and tailored to them. I need to know that this is for me because I need to know that this will work because I don't want to go putting vegetables on my plate for no reason. I'll be really annoyed if I've spent 3 weeks eating vegetables and I don't lose any weight because of it, because that's people's attitudes towards plants in the diet. They would much rather eat chocolate. I don't want to eat 300 calories of vegetables. I want to eat 300 calories of chocolate. And I get it. Like I was there once upon a time. Like I used to be, I'll start again on Monday, be good all week, step on the scales on Friday. Why has my weight not come down? Why have I just put myself through 5 days of eating fruit and vegetables when I could have been eating all my favourite stuff instead, only for my weight not to come down? It makes me cringe now how childish I thought that was. You know, I'm only going to eat vegetables if it's going to make me lose weight. Anyway. So, part 1 of food noise, or part 1 and 2, is, and I didn't expand on this, but your relationship with food. Your relationship with food, the way that you think about food. If you think chocolate is bad, or naughty, or indulgent, or junk, or crap, or rubbish, or shite, or any other negative term, or you put it on a list, you think of it as a treat food, as a sweet treat. Any food that you put on that type of list, you are now giving it a life of its own. Why don't you think of strawberries as a sweet treat? Why don't you think of grapes as a sweet treat? Why are bananas and apples not a sweet treat? Why don't you have them on a list of foods? Because we don't think of them like that. And do you act like an idiot around fruit? Nope. When was the last time you could not stop yourself from eating strawberries? When was the last time you bought a packet of 4 apples and had to eat the entire pack? Never. None of you have ever done it. And if you have, you've done it and then you were trying to use it as a delay tactic and you still went on and ate the chocolate afterwards. But think about that. There's something to be learned from that. Why don't I think about, why am I not going to the cupboard, to the fridge and just eating a raw carrot? Why am I going to the cupboards and looking for chocolate and crisps and biscuits and sweets and cakes and cookies and ice cream and ice lollies? Because you place those foods on a list. They're on your bad list. Whether you realize it or not, you've all got different names for it. Treats, sweet treats, the naughty drawer, the naughty cupboard, the naughty tin, the junk cupboard, the rubbish box. One of my clients the other day says, oh, I can't stop myself eating out the treat box. Like, why do you have a fucking treat box? Why would you have a treat box? Why would you put all of those foods in one single place and give them their own lease of life by making them a big deal? What about the vegetable drawer in your fridge? Why is that not a treat box? Start calling that your treat box and see what happens. Your language, the way that you think, this is where food noise comes from. It's not some mystical, and this is what these, weight loss medication pushers are going to lead people to believe. This is why I think food noise is going to be the big buzzword, the big buzz term of 2025. It is going to get pushed so much because everybody has food noise. And they're going to say, oh, we're going to fix that for you. Just take this medication. Come to us. We're going to give you this. This will make your food noise go away. Yeah, for as long as you take it. But your food noise, most of your food noise is self-created because of your terrible diet. So you have a nutritionally imbalanced diet that is made up mostly of carbs, most of them are sugars, and mostly fats. You're eating little protein, you're eating next to no fruit and vegetables. You probably have very intense cravings. Your energy levels are probably up and down all day. You're probably someone that starts nodding off at 2 p.m. at their desk because you are living in this world where your blood sugar is just rocketing up and crashing down and creating these intense cravings and making you feel like you need to eat again. That's not food noise. Food noise is a symptom of your imbalanced diet. Balance your diet out. Do it for 2 days. Watch how everything transforms. Eat protein and fiber with every meal. Take fruit for snacks instead of crisps and cakes and sweets and cookies and skinny bars and whatever else you're eating. Do that for 2 days. Watch what happens. Your energy levels will stabilize. Instead of it looking like a big heartbeat rocketing up and down on a machine, it will be gentle waves. You will have enough fiber in your diet to regulate the sugar you're consuming, because you'll be combining it with a reduction in sugar at the same time. Your blood sugar will not spike and crash. It will go up and down, like the blue, what's the name of the gentle roller coaster at Blackpool, the Blue Flyer or something. It'll gently go up and down. When that happens, you get to tap into your energy levels much better. It's no longer all the energy all at once or none of it at all and a big massive craving and I need sugar. It's a steady release of energy throughout the day, no longer feeling exhausted at the end of the day. But then you also need to combine that with working on your relationship with food, getting rid of this idea that there are healthy and unhealthy foods, good and bad foods. Because again, I've still not expanded on this and I will before I wrap up. So this whole bad food, unhealthy junk crap rubbish, you will feel how you think about a food. Chocolate's amazing. I love chocolate. If I sit down to eat chocolate, I do it with intent. I don't overeat it. I don't scoff the whole bar. I did it last night. There's this Cadbury's s'mores bar that you get. I broke 3 squares off it and sat and had it with a cup of tea last night, and I enjoyed every single bit of it. And that was it. I got on with my life. Nothing happened. Didn't overeat it. Didn't feel the need to overeat it. Nothing changed. Rewind 10 years, I would have sat and eaten that entire bar, one after the other, because I would have to get that gone. I need to get this chocolate out my house so that I can have a chocolate-free house again, and I can stop thinking about this bar that's in the fridge, because I've done nothing but think about it constantly since I bought it, and I wish I never bought it. And so you scoff the entire thing, because that helps you get back to your chocolate-free house and you can relax. Only now you've eaten a couple of 1,000 calories of chocolate. And now you feel guilty about that, and now you feel bad. Why? Because you think it's a bad food. Because you think it's unhealthy, junk, crap, rubbish, treat, reward, joy, misery, happiness, sadness, all rolled into one. The way you think about these foods is the way that you will feel about these foods after you eat them. And that is all in your head. That's all created by you. Granted, it's been given to you by the world that you live in, because we live in a world that just wants to constantly teach us that this ridiculously simplistic, childish view of the world. You know, if something's not good, it's bad. If something's not bad, it's good. We live in a world that does not want to educate you on the middle ground. Wants you just to live in a world of extremes, because extremes sell. Extremes make it easy to extract money from people for things that they do not need. And that's why you have food noise. The top two things, your relationship with food, the way that you talk about it, the way that you think about it, the morality that you attach to it, the labels that you attach to it, positive and negative. Like, you can't just call everything good and not have an opposite. You can't just call vegetables healthy and fruit healthy without having to have an opposite for it. There are no healthy and unhealthy foods, but there are certainly healthy and unhealthy diets. A diet being the combination of food that you eat, or the way that you eat, or the way that you use food. It's unhealthy to sit and eat entire bars, family sharing size bars of chocolate, but it's perfectly healthy to add 3 squares of chocolate to your already balanced diet. And then there's the other part, the self-created cravings, the self-created food noise from a diet that is lacking in the things that your body needs. So, you do not need to start injecting yourself with a yet unproven long-term effect medication, because yes, it will make things go away and it will make things easier and it will probably make your weight come down, but it only works for as long as you take it. And like I said, I've got 18 or 19 people who I'm working with since the end of last year who were on these medications, who lost lots of stones, and then went on to regain it again as soon as they stopped, because they are the person I described. All they did was take something to make their weight come down. They changed nothing about themselves, their diet, or anything like that. And they all ended up right back at square one, only their wallets are a little lighter, and they've put their body through yet one more round of weight loss and weight regain. Losing muscle mass along the way as well, which we don't want to see. This is that thing that you see, you ever heard them talking about Ozempic face? Where, like, people are losing weight so quickly. When you lose weight quickly and you don't take part in any kind of exercise or weight resistance training, you're also going to lose muscle. So you're not just losing body fat, you're losing muscle. And the whole Ozempic face thing is coming from people losing muscles in their face. And that's why people's eyes are looking sunken and their cheeks are looking less plump. Anyway, it's a massive problem. Like everything, in the hands of the right people, it's a miracle. In the hands of the wrong people, it's going to be a disaster. It is a ticking time bomb, and we're all just watching it unfold. Anyway, enough from me. Until next time.